Previously on the show that has been so aptly and poignantly titled, New Crits on the Block.
As this thing starts ripping itself out of the ground by pulling on these statues, you notice that multiple of the statues are starting to crack and break, and they are quite tall and large. You get the impression that these anchor points could probably be broken. And if they were, the statues would crumble. I remind you that these are also pillars that hold up the entire building. It is now the cult leader's turn, who has a front row seat to everything that is happening. And he sees Therasul on the other end of this portal looking at him. He sees another one of his elven brethren, and he makes an insight check. Welcome back to Havenport, everybody.
Oh no! What's
Why are we so
this?
sad today?
I'm sad.
Yeah, yeah, we said that.
We got that.
Yeah, I know.
Why are you so sad?
Tell us.
Well, I'm sad. Like,
Go on.
Continue.
I'm sad because... I'm not sad. I'm happy! Welcome back to Havenport, everybody.
What?
Wow. I'm all over the place. Woo!
What
Okay.
a trick you just did on us.
Ha-ha! No one
I was-
expected that.
I was
Wow.
convinced you were sad.
Yes.
Wow.
Even though we were talking just a second ago prior to recording and I wasn't sad at all.
What a journey
Well,
you
that's
just
a
took
mood
us on
swing.
there.
Now you guys don't know what I am.
I guess
We know
that's
you're bad.
true.
Are you certain, Jake? If
You know,
that even is your
honestly-
real name.
I think they could make an AI of you pretty easily. So
I'm pretty certain I am an AI.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I have my doubts already. Actually,
Yeah, I'm pretty.
you're pretty generic. You're like what Alien would be like. That's a white human.
Well, we've talked about this. I am a base model human. It's just, we've said this before, and I'll say it again. When you start a RPG and they give you the character in the beginning and they say, here's your generic white male as the hero, it's usually somebody who looks vaguely like me.
Yeah, or me. I'll give you that.
It's just like, that's about it. It is October 16th. We're just crushing through October. Look at that. And you know what day it is?
October 16th.
Monday.
Yeah, we do this joke every time. It is National
every time.
Feral Cat Day.
Oh.
It's also Global Cat Day. I mean, cats in general, which is really appropriate because I got to say, Jake, in the last episode, you managed to crush some acrobatics checks and pulled off some bullshit that I didn't think was going to work. And I was really wondering how I was going to describe your death.
I was super confident. I not even in the slightest.
I was super confident in those rolls I just made up as I said them. Oh, look, another natural 20. What are the chances?
No, I rolled those legit. I'll start taking photos.
We're gonna have a camera just for your dice.
Yes. For yours too.
Yeah, more so for years, Ben.
Yeah,
Honest to God, I haven't fudged a single thing.
that's the problem.
We're
We're gonna need you to fudge a few more numbers over here.
just
Yeah, we're
fudge
gonna
something, please.
the camera is more so we can tell you when to fudge or not.
Yeah.
Can you
Start giving
please fudge
cues.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So it's I was looking up holidays right before we got started. It is National Feral Cat Day or Global Cat Day. So we only appreciate feral cats in your nation, but cats worldwide are acceptable as long as they're not feral.
That's fair.
I guess.
An important
What
distinction.
do you do to celebrate these feral cats? Do I just put some food outside, or do I
I don't
get
think-
them?
I don't know. Well, if you get them, they're not feral anymore, I guess.
Is
No,
it
they're
a,
still feral.
is it an awareness day or an appreciation day?
I don't know. I just saw it and I was like, Snow's
It's
a cat.
just
I just pulled that one out. I didn't bother looking any deeper into it.
cat
We need
stuff.
you to look
Um,
deeper into these, Ben. We
I
need
have a question.
explanations.
I have a question for Jake though. Jake, is Snow feral?
I wouldn't say feral. He's like a vagabond, so I guess because you consider a feral cat just a cat that doesn't have an owner, right? that
I
lives
guess.
outside. So then, yeah, I guess I am a feral cat because I don't have an owner and I don't really have a home. I'm pretty sure he's homeless. I like to say vagabond.
Well, that's why we call all the heroes murder hobos, because none of them really have homes. They're always just like traveling and just killing things and then running away from the problems they often create. So
Hey, I have to say, I gave all of you guys homes. I just destroyed them and made them very sad. So
true.
yeah,
there's that.
pretty much. That's what makes them murder hobos. Yeah. Well, speaking of cats, it's also World Allergy Awareness Day.
Well, thank God.
So for all those people out there who
weren't
have
aware
allergies,
enough.
yeah, right. Because who's not
Thank
aware of
you,
their allergies?
Lord.
Yeah, so I just make fun of them when they have allergies. That's my awareness.
Don't you have allergies?
Yeah, you totally do, Jake.
Not down here, actually. I have not. I do not have
What was it, like different milk
plant
down
allergies.
there that you're not allergic to?
I'm not allergic to milk.
You're lactose intolerant.
That's not allergic.
I want to.
That's not allergic? I thought that was an allergy.
No.
It's intolerant.
It's intolerant.
You don't produce the enzyme to break it down. So it's not an allergy. It's not a histamine reaction. So actually, I, interestingly enough, recently had to go see an allergy specialist because of, I don't know if you heard me in the last episode. I was like, ooh, itchy. And so they gave me like 50 fucking injections of all these different things. And I realized that I'm allergic to dust mites.
Isn't everyone?
Yeah, isn't that like a
It's
big
the
thing?
It's really common. It's the second most common allergy. Pollen is number one.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah, no
I
pollen
remember.
allergies down here.
I remember years ago when Matt used to
Pollen.
live with me. I made you go outside and pull weeds with me, and you kept telling me I have allergies, and I was like, "Stop being a little bitch!" And I made you come outside and do it, and then you broke out in hives.
Uh-huh. And I didn't say anything, did I? Until you looked and you said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Not really." And you were so mad that I didn't have to pull weeds anymore. But you couldn't
I was like,
say
"You're living." I
anything?
was like, "You're living here. You got to help me pull weeds in the yard, and you live here. You got to do part of the work." And then you were like, "I have allergies," and I'm like, "You little bitch! No, you don't. Come on." And then you damn near died.
Yeah.
So
See,
sorry
Ben-
about that.
Ben,
He
here's
just
where
he
you
just
fucked
painted
up.
them on to him. He went to the bathroom and went da, 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 da,
No,
da,
he
da.
had very legitimate hives all over his arms.
A simple Home Depot trip would have solved your problem. Painter suit, and then you get a gas mask. Or a
full
painter,
full
mask.
hazmat gear for me to pull
Yeah,
some
just full
weeds.
hazmat gear to do yard
Those-
work.
Then he's
Those-
pulling those weeds.
That's like $30 right there.
No, I thankfully don't really have issues with pollen, but apparently I have issues with dust mites. So I guess I should just clean my shit better.
Yeah, dust.
I don't think
dust your
LA has
dusty ass
pollen.
house.
Apparently, I don't have any pollen allergies down here. No,
Yeah, you don't
no
have any
sneezing.
pollen, you just have dust.
I got no dust down here either.
There's
dude.
no pollen because the smog is
Got
too
that smog,
dense.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was driving out of San Diego towards LA.
Towards LA.
Yeah, towards LA,
Okay.
and it looks disgusting. the I thought it was fog,
No.
and then my guy I was carpooling with, he's like, "No, that's what they call smog," and I was like, "That's fucking disgusting."
It's pretty bad.
Actually, believe it or not, as CO2 levels in the air rise, trees produce more pollen. So actually, people's allergies are just getting worse every year.
Checks
So
out.
even people like myself who don't really have pollen allergies, I'm starting to notice in the spring. I'm like, are my eyes itching? What the fuck is this? What is this bullshit? So yeah, no, it's we're all doomed to suffer from this.
Are there any
How
controversial holidays out there?
Well, the next one is National Veterans Barbecue Day, and I'm really hoping that one is
No,
not
don't.
what I
Inviting a
think
veteran
is.
to the barbecue.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to barbecue for a veteran, not barbecue a veteran.
Oh, veteran.
Well, who's to say?
Um, Yeah, clarification and punctuation saves lives, people. So you really got to pay attention to your what exactly. No, they want you to invite a veteran to a barbecue and cook for them. We're supposed to be appreciating their services, and I don't know why we're barbecuing in October.
It's a
but
good time to October.
It's still nice
Yeah.
it rained yesterday.
Well,
for
you can
like
do it
a
under
minute.
a gazebo.
It was very weird. Yeah, we were actually all of us, Matt and Christy and myself, we were all at our 20-year high school reunion, and it started raining. And
old.
yeah, it was
Not-
weird.
Not old. Normal. Totally young and cool and hip.
That's your second reunion. You're old.
I'm very hip. I've had two hip replacements already.
Oh God, you're not helping, Ben.
Yeah, don't make that joke. Come on.
It's not a joke. I'm very arthritic.
My hips are not a joke.
No joke.
These hips don't lie.
These hips
There it
don't
is.
lie.
There
Knew
it
that was
is.
coming.
Haha.
Okay.
Um,
So I think
when we last left
killed
off,
it.
as I had mentioned a little bit ago, Snow pulled off some wild acrobatic stunts and saved Mrs. Havisette from certain death. The unfathomable horror began pulling itself out of the portal and has now turned into more like a worm-like creature. It no longer has that moonbeam on it. I didn't describe this last episode, but I should mention that its body, now that it's no longer being hit by that moonbeam, is once again undergoing transformations, kind of like the teeth and eyes had, where there's just like eyes all over its body and thorns and teeth and claws just kind of coming out of it, and its body, it moves but undulates at the same time. It's almost like it's forming into a new creature as it moves. It's really difficult to pinpoint what exactly this thing is, except for fucking terrifying. And it's now at partway into your world. You don't know how big this thing is, but it's, from what you see so far, it's big,
Probably like
and
6,
it's
7
scary. Sure.
The American average.
Yep. We'll just say that's what that is, and I'm not going to go any deeper into that.
Sorry.
What also happened, though, as it was pulling itself out is it grabbed onto these statues, which also act as pillars, and began pulling on them, creating cracks in them. David saw this and attempted to help bring down these statues with the help of a moonbeam, which didn't do anything. Not through his own fault. I rolled, and it just rolled really well. But he did highlight the structural weakness of this building. And Soot managed to cut down a tentacle, which began pulling more on this statue over here on the left side of the screen. So you get the distinct impression that if you guys hurry, you might be able to bring this place down on top of it, or it'll kill you. So that's kind of where you're at right now. The last thing that happened was it was the cult leader's turn, and he made an insight check, which I'm going to roll now. So we'll see. We see a view from his eyes as everything is terrible in front of him. People are dying. I think there's only like 2 cultists out of the 8 of them left. So all of his followers have been killed. There's a dire rat standing in front of him for some reason. His portal has gone to hell, and he sees Therasul, another one of his elven brethren, on the other side of the portal, on the other side of this tentacle maw thing, shouting orders and trying to help people. And he questions what he has done. What do you guys think? Do you think if he rolls good or rolls bad?
He murders himself.
Wait,
probably
what?
Both.
Do we think?
What do we
wait,
want him to
what,
roll?
what do you?
Yeah, what did you guys want him to roll? What number do you think he got?
Oh,
5.
well, it's either a 1 or
John.
a 20.
Yeah.
So-
You think so?
19?
Or what? So it was actually pretty close. He actually rolled a 17.
Oh.
And he actually has pretty good insight. So that's a total of a 19. He stares at the situation and raises up his hand. And in Elven, he says, for those people who can understand Elven, "It wasn't supposed to be like this." And he casts Shatter on the statue to the left that has the crack in it. Inorganic materials take extra damage. So let's see how much damage he does this thing. I'm sorry, they don't take extra damage. They just they have disadvantage on their saving throws. So we'll just say it fails, because again, we don't really know if it has a saving throw. And he deals a total of 12 points of damage to the statue, and you see that those cracks in that statue have really elongated through it, and that thing is looking very structurally weak at this point. And it seems as though the cult leader, Rith Oak, has decided that this is a fool's attempt and is now beginning to help you. And that is the end of his turn. Gush, it is your turn. You are just south of the very cracked statue. What do you do?
So just picking up on what everyone else is doing, and I think because we rolled, what did we roll? Perception, just kind of understand.
Yeah, you
what was
all
going
rolled
on here?
perception to see what was going on, and
But I
most
think
of you didn't
after
roll very good.
most people were shooting at this thing. I'm like, I could probably surmise what's going on here.
Yeah, but David rolled really good, and he called it out, and he actually put his moonbeam on it and was like, right there, I think is what he said, or something along those lines, only
Pretty much.
very long and detailed. Yeah, so no,
Except
and then
he
you
is
just
very
saw,
far away from me, so I probably didn't hear him.
maybe
But
not,
yeah.
but there is a moonbeam directly on top of this statue, which is cracking, and the cult leader just cast a loud ringing. Shatter creates a very loud noise. So not far away from you, you heard a essentially flashbang explosion go off near the statue with this huge tentacles pulling on, and you see it beginning to crack.
Yeah, I'm going to, I think, shoot at the statue.
So it's a statue. I don't know if you're gonna be able to break it with a
Well, is it about breaking it, or is it about just doing damage to it? Because that's
what I'll tell you is you get the impression that you could probably get behind it and like push it over.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's looking very weak. Any additional, and you are a fighter, you're a strong guy. Let's see if you can actually pull off a decent athletics check to bring this thing down.
okay. I will clamber up, like, kind of midway, and kind of put my back against the wall and my feet on it, and see if I can push the damn thing over.
So Gush
And that-
Gush climbs up there and rolls
12.
a total of a 12.
Yes.
Yeah, you're really pushing on it. It's a big gigantic statue. But you do see that like it, yeah, you feel like it's doable. Just maybe not with a 12. That is the end of Gush's turn, I believe,
Mhm.
unless there's a bonus action or something you want to take. Don't you have action surge?
Oh, I guess I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could try again,
Come on.
Try
thing.
again.
unless you don't want to do that.
Nope, I do. That's a little better. 10 plus 5, 15.
Yeah, same deal. It's really,
Hmm.
it's a giant statue. You're
What am
really
I
pushing
trying-
on it.
What am I trying to beat here, Ben?
I can't tell you exactly
Yeah.
that, but you feel like you're very close to getting this thing toppling over, and you're pushing on it as hard as you can, and that is the end of your turn. Cultist number 3 just backs away. He's terrified. He doesn't know what to do, and it is now Therasul's turn. And he also runs over and attempts to help you break this statue. So he was just basically following you. So Therasul, the elven champion who you met back in the bilge, clambers up behind you and puts his legs on the statue as well. And the two of you together give a push. And we'll see whether or not... we'll say that your action surge and his action, because all these things are kind of happening simultaneously, are all happening all at once. So
give him
Brian,
advantage.
why don't you go ahead and give me one more roll?
Just incrementally better. Okay, now it's an 18.
Well, you know what? He actually rolled a 17 on the die in addition to that. So that will do it, especially considering that Therasul is a pretty strong motherfucker. So he actually rolled a 23 in addition to all that. So you guys both get up behind the statue, and you put your legs on it, and you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's not moving. And then he climbs up right next to you, and he looks at you, and he says, "Friend," and he pushes as well, and you hear this thing begin to snap and crack.
And pop.
Snap, crack, pop, and sizzle?
There's only
No.
3.
No, just 3.
Yeah.
No.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Sizzles when you pour the milk in.
No, just
well,
still
that's the snap, crackle, and pop. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is,
that's
but
the namesake.
it sizzles
No.
too a little bit.
No.
It sizzles too a little
No.
bit. He said.
Yeah, it goes.
It does
All
sizzle
right.
a little.
It sizzles
Right?
a little bit.
It's a little
Right,
sizzle.
guys? Little
I've heard of
sizzle. That's my
sizzle.
rapper
Just
name.
a slight, a little sizzle.
Little sizzle. Hey everyone, it's your favorite player, man, and welcome to this week's Middle Break. Well, gang, we done it. We got to the end of Ben's episode, and we really do hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed playing it out. If you have, please go into our Discord, go to the Havenport channel, and give Ben some props. Give him his flowers. He deserves it. He worked hard for you to produce this. It's the first time he's ever done anything like this, so go show him some love, huh? One of the ways you can show our whole podcast some love is by subscribing, rating, and reviewing our podcast wherever you get our podcasts from. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcatcher you use, go there, hit that subscribe button, download all of our episodes, leave us a 5-star review, and write a little review about why you like our podcast so other people might see it and think that they would enjoy it too. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms. You can follow us on Twitter at New Crits and on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at New Crits on the Block. We post stuff there all the time, whether it be stuff that's going on in our lives, our birthdays, some fun quotes that we have said, or a little snippet from the episodes that we enjoy. The best way for you to help us there is either tag people you think might like those clips or share them to your own social media platforms. Also, just interact with them. Leave a comment, like them. All that kind of stuff helps us keep that the algorithm juice a-flowing. And I know it's a small thing to ask, but I promise you, it really does go a long way. So if you could help us with that, we'd be super appreciative. Speaking of the Discord sooner, we do have a Discord that is for all things New Crits, but not all things New Crits. Go in there. If you want to talk about the show, we have channels for that. Like, of course, hey, like I said about telling Ben that he did a good job and thanking him for all the hard work he did. I feel like a parent's like scolding their kid when they don't say thank you well enough to somebody who gave them a gift. So, hey, gonna need you to go in there, smile real big and say, thank you, Ben. Okay. You can talk about the show in there, but if you also just want a place to hang out, we got channels for that too. It's a safe, inclusive space that we've built up over the last few years. We love what it is and what it has become. So if you want some place to chill, just come on in. And if you haven't joined us yet, what the heck are you waiting for? All right, everyone, let's get you back into this week's episode, the finale of Ben's Havenport arc. We really do hope that you have enjoyed it. Dang sure we have. All right. And next week, we do have the part 1 of this year's spooktacular special coming at you with a 2-part episode in total. So be ready for that. But for now, let's get you back into this week's episode, the finale. We really hope you've enjoying it. As you know, we come out with new episodes every single Monday. That ain't stopping anytime soon. So until next week, we love you. Be excellent to each other. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.
As the pillar's fortification gives way, the stone statue attached to it topples over and comes crashing to the ground. A large crack forms in the ceiling at its contact point that rapidly and violently juts across the roof of the bathhouse. Huge stone boulders loosen and fall from the ceiling, crushing everything and everyone beneath them. In other words, rocks fall, everyone dies. Well, everyone except those who managed to escape. You all now get to tell me what it is that your character would do to escape. What special ability, skill, stat, class feature, or personality
I have my action surge, but no.
do you all have that you feel gives you an edge to escape a collapsing room full of a tentacle beast trying to eat you? Do a good job on this description, and maybe I'll give you an advantage or a bonus to your save. Who wants to start?
I mean, Soot's in the air, right?
I am in the air,
You're the closest to the rocks.
but I'm also the
No,
escapiest from being crushed by the rocks.
You are.
Okay, why don't we start with Soot? Soot, how do you get out of here when you see that this building's starting to come down? This room.
Fucking no. Soot is going to
Do Do a barrel roll.
That's the only thing you
That
can do.
would be helpful, I think.
Some other
Are-
dogfighting terms.
Is this a tunnel right here below me?
The only exit you see is the one you guys initially came in all the way to the south.
Okay, so these
the
little
things you see
pipes
below
there
you
are
are
not-
like water pipes and stuff. Yeah.
They're full of water, not
Yeah,
empty.
no. I mean, just at this point, how do you get the fuck out of here? I don't need to worry about like
Yeah.
I move this many feet out. We're done with that.
No. Soot is
How do
going
you
to
escape
use,
the building collapsing as a flying bird?
I am going to use my cunning wing action to fly heckin' fast with my wings behind my back like this as I go like cool
Oh.
anime character to the exit as quickly as I can. And I'm dodging very cool anime style all of the rocks that are falling around me and going da da and trying to get out. That's what Soot
Okay.
does.
I mean, that is what a flying character with a 50 feet fly speed would do to get the fuck out of a building. So yeah, you fly the fuck out of there. I mean, that
And
makes
I
sense.
say, follow me, call as I go this way.
All right, who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, David, how the fuck do you get out of here?
David's been at the entrance, so he walks out
He's like, oh,
Takes a
with
step
nary a
backwards.
care in the world. He just
he
goes,
just does a
"Oh,
little stroll.
I believe,
Yeah, just
he
a
says,
few
I
steps.
believe that is my cue, and then turns around and saunters on out the door.
Just a
David
little
begins
jog over
yeah,
the, water.
walking out without a care in the world.
Nope.
All right.
Stops to smell the
Jake, how
roses.
does Snow get the fuck out
Wait,
of here?
wait. Question. Can I unsummon a summon? If it's like a familiar,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah, you just stop concentrating, right?
Yeah, I mean it was an object, but I guess because you have that spell, sure. I guess you can just
Yeah,
like
I just snap my fingers and my rat goes and just disappears from all the rocks falling on it. And it's
Mhm.
back safely in its little staff house.
all of a sudden the dire rat just appears back at his home at his dinner table where he was suddenly pulled away from while having family dinner. Just covered in like blood and just dirty with like twigs and rocks all over it. And then the rat wife is like, "Oh, you're back."
Well, at least you didn't miss dinner.
Sorry, baby, I called in to work.
Yeah.
Now, where's that cheese?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to take this.
Oh, that's worth calling. 1 second.
Hold on.
All right, the dire rat just jumps out of existence. Just for fun, I'll just take him off the initiative tracker. I don't think I need this thing anymore. But
Yeah,
boop,
we
he's
out.
gone. All right, all right. So David saunters out and he unsummons his dire rat. All the guards also continue pouring out of the room. 2 of them are actually pretty close to the exit, so they just keep running. Hopefully they'll make it out. We'll see what happens with them. One of them is still stuck in this thing's tentacle maw. Good luck. And we have the cult leader all the way at the top. I don't know how he's going to make it out, but we'll see. Snow, what do? You have Miss Havasset standing right next to you.
I look to Miss Havasset. She doesn't look like she can escape a collapsing building with ease, huh?
I mean, she's not harmed, but she's also not an adventurer. But she has 2 legs and they work.
I sigh deeply, and I'm like, I know I just set you down, but and I just scoop her up, and I look over towards Sabi, who's like towards the entrance, and I just
Yeah, she's not far away from you.
I say, well, that was fun, and I start to run out. I use pretty much everything I have in my kit to just run as fast as I can while dodging falling rocks. I would like to, if it's cool with you, use one of said falling rocks to jump over that giant statue so that I don't have to run around.
Oh, so you like run up it as it's falling?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hella
Okay.
cool.
So you use your cunning anime action to jump over the falling rocks and leap from rock to rock in midair as they're falling. Got it. That's some bullshit. I love it. Sabi follows closely behind and does the exact same thing that you do, only she does it slightly better.
Of course. Well, I'm holding somebody, okay?
Yeah, because you're holding somebody.
I mean, give me a break, man.
Yeah, she's basically just a slightly more better built character than you. No, actually, I actually don't think she is. Hold on, let me look at her stats here. No, she is.
No, I made her better than you. I know I did.
I did. I know you're. I know you're like the PC and stuff, like, you know, but I also made better versions.
They are
of all
actually higher levels than you guys. Actually, the whole story was them. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing here.
Yeah, we were the side
Gush,
characters.
you and Therasul push on this statue and it collapses. You are the farthest away from the exit, but you know, what do?
I think I would rely on my my connection with like dead people, like dead ghosts, and they would be guiding me towards the exit because they know that I could help them.
That's good. That's good.
So intermittently I'm like looking up, and I'm making sure that Therasul is behind me. I'm kind of guiding him along the way so I can sort of intuit where things are going to fall, but then where my path leads, I can follow ghosts along, and they're not really pointing, but they're kind of like in different places, like beckoning me in a way that I understand.
So here's what happens. The ceiling gives way as literally hundreds of tons of rock and earth crash to the floor of the bathhouse. The unfathomable horror pulling itself further out of the portal, revealing this long worm-like creature with its gaping maw snapping at people as they're trying to escape, and the tentacles reaching out, trying to grab those around them. Cultists and guards flee as demons made of flesh, teeth, and eyes begin pulling themselves. More of those maw demons are coming out of the portal. Everything is collapsing around you. There's death everywhere as the tendrils of the horror reach out and attempt to grab one of you. Everybody make either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Okay. What if we're more than 50 feet away from it?
Yeah, I'm too far away.
This thing is actually coming out of the portal and moving down and towards you. The whole building is collapsing and everything is escaping out of the front entrance, and it is attempting to grab everyone. It is no longer centered on that point. Everybody make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Well, so much for escaping.
I got
I rolled an 8.
I rolled an 11 plus 5 for 16.
Rolled a 6 plus 7 for a 13.
Gush rolled a 16 plus 5 for 21.
Tendrils from the horror reach out and grab a casually walking David Scattenborough as he falls to the ground. As this happens, a particularly large stone loosens itself from the ceiling and begins falling. As the stone falls, time stops for a moment, and we see all the chaos around us in slow motion. We see Soot in midair doing a barrel roll with her wings behind her, dodging rocks. We see Gush sprinting as through his vision, we see the departed souls of all the cultists who have died, creating almost a pathway for him to weave through as they're creating points that he understands rocks will be falling, almost like a tunnel for him to follow on the way out. We see Snow leaping over boulders while holding Leanna Haverset in some anime bullshit that I love. That doesn't make any sense physically or mathematically, but it's okay because it's really fucking cool. His arms are also behind him, yet he's also holding Mrs. Haverset. It doesn't make any sense. It's okay. We see Sabi following closely behind them, doing something that actually makes sense and is okay for her to do. Therasul follows Gush. And we see David as he is strapped to the ground, trying to crawl away from this monster as everything kicks into full frame and the stone crashes into the circular walkway of the runes, where the runes painted on are suddenly shattered, completely disrupting the circle, and the portal snaps shut in an instant, cutting the horror in half. Blood, entrails, viscera spill out from behind it as it thrashes in agony. And you see, as the collapsing bathhouse, everyone's running down the end of the hallway that you first entered in, as it's charging at you, pulling the tendrils, pulling at things, pulling at people. Some of the guards are getting crushed. Cultists are getting crushed. You see Rith Oak in the back, not even trying to escape, just witnessing the horror that he has created. And as the tunnel collapses, you all leap out, narrowly avoiding the stones as the entire entryway is buried. And you find yourselves all back in the sewer, scattered about you, with Leanna knee-deep in a puddle of sewer waste. And you see Soot, and you see Gush, and you see Snow and Sabi, and Therasul, and Leanna. But you do not see David. And Leanna looks up at everyone and says, "I don't want to help anymore." And it is quiet. And time passes. And the following events unfold. We see the cleric back at the temple, Tio Firstpath. He has helped stamp out the remaining disease in town and continued following the teachings of the false champion. In time, his rank was raised from Tio Firstpath to Tio Newpath, and then eventually to Tio Pathfinder. And everyone agreed he deserved it and thought that his new name was way better. We see Mary Sue and Mary Jane. After learning about their sister's death, the two fell into grief and despair. However, eventually they decided to work extra hard to gather up the needed coin they would need for a resurrection. And years went by, and although they still have a ways to go, their promise to bring back their sister by any means necessary remained their highest priority. We don't see Portside, for he did continue the most successful inn and tavern in town. However, about 10 years later, he died abruptly of what was described as natural causes, and with no living relatives, the sisters, Mary Sue and Mary Jane, inherited the bar. Owning the business, they were able to make the needed coin for their sister's resurrection much faster. It was almost lucky that Portside had died. Borderline suspicious, even. Wilhelm, the drunk asshole, joined AA and finally accepted his daughter's half-elven boyfriend, although he still doesn't talk to his abusive father. We see Broomba, the soldier, one night cleaning up, and he suddenly has an interesting experience, a vivid memory of a black-haired child holding up a small white kitten. The child looks up and his lips move, but there's no sound. And after a moment, the child smiles brightly, almost like he was told something he wanted to hear. He hugs the kitten tightly, and the memory abruptly ends. And the next day, the floor to Portside Inn and Tavern went unswept. The dove, living with his sister-in-law who witnessed the murder in the bilge, slowly slipping into fear and paranoia, his wife and sister-in-law had to have him admitted to a mental health treatment facility. He was diagnosed as being cuckoo.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Saris Vim, the mayor's assistant. The party returns, minus David, and explains the events that unfolded. They are paired of fair wage, and he doesn't believe half of what he's told. However, shortly after, scandal rocks the city as the mayor is accused of cheese embezzlement. And although the charges were later dropped, he stepped down from his position and left town. Word has it he's working in another city now, barely squeaking out a living. Sabi. With Seraphim removed from office, Sabi in her human form, Rust, took over the position after running a successful campaign and maybe stuffing a few ballot boxes. Her knowledge of thievery and back alley deals allowed her to crack down on smuggling and manage to balance the budget to adjust the tax system to operate more fairly. After the events in the bathhouse with the portal and the nameless horror, Rust, or Sabi, used her city official position to keep an ear out regarding extraplanar issues or unexplained events involving anything resembling the nightmare that she witnessed. The folk prospered under her guidance, and crime was at an all-time low, minus the stories of a sly foxfolk burglar who specifically targeted rich merchants that always seemed to find their ways to skirt their dues. This thief has always been able to seem to elude the authorities somehow. No one knows exactly what happened to Terran, but after his street fighters were killed, he slipped away before being caught. Everyone was sure that he would pop back up eventually and recreate a stranglehold on poor people somewhere. However, months later, it was reported that an earth-touched man was found dead in an alleyway in the Bilge. A small amount of red fur on his body and a single silver coin in his mouth was the only clue to his death. The authorities conveniently were told by the mayor, now Sabi, not to investigate the incident. Therasul. Serving as the personal guard for the mayor, Rust Sabi, Therasul was paid more than a fair wage and soon had enough silver to travel the world to seek his family, which was his only reason that he was in Havenport in the first place. He had hoped his family had also gated here. Armed with the knowledge that some of his kin had figured out how to open gates home, as well as what was waiting for them on the other side, he reached out to other refugee communities along his travels, seeking audiences with the elves along the way, who may have been capable of recreating such gates. One evening, as his boat sailed under the moonlight, he looked up at the stars, wondering which one was his home. He then chuckled, and an elven whispered to himself, "I guess this one now." The dead man with the crescent-shaped scar on his neck is still very dead and dissolved in acid. His family misses him terribly. You are terrible fucking people. I don't understand why you did that.
Deserved it.
Sorry.
We had to. It was our only choice.
Yeah,
Sorry
you gave
about
us no
that.
option.
My bad.
Miss Leanna Haverset. Saved from a fate worse than death, she returned to her job as a secretary at the mayor's office. However, she never stopped tinkering with things on the side. And one day, she finally managed to fix her father's old clock. And when she did, a small compartment opened on the side of the clock, and inside, a note was housed. And on the note, it said, "I knew you could do it because you're amazing, and I love you. Dad." And the next day, Mrs. Haverset didn't come to work. Tales tell of a young, energetic, happy, half-goblin, half-gnome woman traveling the world looking for unique problems to solve with her wits, friendly manner, and unique inventions. The tales also say she looked really hot while doing it. And what of our remaining adventurers? Well, what happened to them is hard for me to say. But I can tell you one thing. For those who remained, they all leveled up. And that, well, no, actually, hold on. Actually, I almost forgot.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
One last thing. I was going to say that's our show. Good night, everybody. Woo! No, I'm sorry. There's one last thing.
Oh.
Matt, make David make 2 Constitution saving throws, please.
Okay. Though I'll make them. I'll have them be open rolls here too. Here's the first one. It's I have a +2 to con, so the first roll is a 1.
Oh boy. It's not great.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, I have a second
One
roll.
more? One more?
Yeah, you sure do.
I sure do. Second roll is a 14 total.
Our view snaps to the collapsed bathhouse where David rolled a natural 1 on a Constitution saving throw. We can barely see. It's dark. And there's rubble everywhere. And suddenly it shifts and moves slightly. And out of the rubble comes the hand, clawed, hairy hand, as it pulls himself out. And we suddenly remember that David Scattenborough was bitten by a were-rat twice by Ratilla the Hun and needed to make a Constitution saving throw to prevent getting were-rat lycanthropy. The legend of the Rattenboroughs continues, and you see a were-rat David Rattenborough pull himself out of the fucking rubble and look straight at the camera. And Matt, what does he say?
Oh boy.
Take your time.
Make it good, but take your time.
He says, "Rats all, folks."
And that's our show. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Oh my god.
Mr. Goose Winsting received the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House from President Barack Obama in 2016. Really, look it up. It's wild. I don't know. It actually happened.